Hello everyone, thanks for joining us on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinox Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories, the national chairman of the Social Democratic Front SDF political party, John Frundi, cast doubts on the victory of President Paul Biya at the October 7, 2018 presidential election in the Republic of Cameroon. Speaking to the press in the northwest regional capital, Bamenda, he equally expressed his support for the Anglophone struggle for justice, a section of the lower house of Cameroon's parliament. Details in this report.
It is not the main center, but the annexed Yaoundé Congress Center, ravaged by wild flames Thursday at about 8:30 a.m. Administrative of fire.
Ce matin, nous sommes arrivés, nous avons trouvé le site en flammes.
No life was lost, but enormous material damage was recorded.
Depuis lors, nous attendons.
It is not the first strategic structure to be razed by wildfire. This is happening 11 months after a large fire spread through the National Assembly in the Ngouakele area of Yaoundé on the night of Thursday, November 16, breaking Friday, November 17. Both the annexed Yaoundé Congress Center and the National Assembly fire incidents occurred on a Thursday.
In a similar incident, 2 persons have been severely injured and an estimated $500 million francs CFA gone into flames in Kribi in the south region of the Republic of Cameroon's Manjikan Gebre. Fires and details.
It was an angry crowd that welcomed the elements of the Army Rescue Unit in Kribi, who arrived late at a fire incident. Notwithstanding the efforts of some inhabitants, several houses were razed into ashes by the wild flames. An inhabitant tells us the explosion of a gas bottle caused the fire incident. A gas bottle that was bought with a hole exploded minutes after the user wanted to open it. He was even wounded on the face. 2 persons were badly wounded as a result of the explosion, and the properties lost have been estimated at about $500 million francs CFA, even though top administrative and security officials descended to the scene. They only used their eyes to watch as the flames ravaged the houses. This incident brings to questions the security of stores that deals in the sales of gas.
On to one of our lead stories. John Frundi, national chairman of the Social Democratic Front SDF political party.
The victory of Paul Biya is a surprise.
What was my mission?
John Frundi added that it is only in Cameroon that the presidential candidate addresses voters for 22 minutes and wins the election.
I'm really taken aback, and I don't know whether Cameroonians have been hypnotized, that the incumbent in Cameroon, who campaigned for just 22 minutes, has 71.28%. I've never seen that anywhere in the world. I think this was exaggerated.
He urged Cameroonians to take their destiny into their hands.
Take their destiny into their hands. The future will tell.
John Frundi further expressed worries over the plight of the English-speaking population, which he said have a genuine cause.
But to see children thieves go into a village and start harassing people, breaking into people's homes, stealing monies, forcing them to do things, is what I cannot understand. The leadership of Ambazonia should sit down and reorientate what they're fighting for, because they cannot be fighting to restore Anglophones, and the Anglophones are suffering much more.
He said that his support to Anglophone Cameroonians is no secret and should not be misinterpreted.
The Anglophone cause is very dear to my heart. I'm being accused for supporting Ambazonians. I support the Anglophone cause.
Nijon Fundi condemned the fact that the Anglophone struggle has been hijacked by bandits and some government ministers.
The Ambazonian cause, armed robbers, thieves have infiltrated the ranks. Some highly placed ministers, I'm told, have formed their own gangs, and these are harassing the people.
He called on the President-elect Paul Biya, whom to him has failed to take concrete measures at resolving the Anglophone crisis, to seek solutions before things get out of hand.
And get it resolved. Otherwise, the way I feel now, I see the country going into a deeper problem. That if we do not take time and to resolve it early, will not be better in this country.
Heads of state of the Central African Economic and Monetary Community CEMAC zone meeting in the Chadian capital in N'Djamena within the context of an extraordinary summit have congratulated President Paul Biya for his victory at the October 7, 2018 presidential election. He's been represented at that meeting by Prime Minister Philemon Yang. Now coming up, for me, Armstrong Sander takes a look at stakes and challenges on the table of heads of state at that extraordinary meeting taking place in the Chadian capital, N'Djamena.
Extraordinary meeting of heads of states and governments of the Central African Economic and Monetary Community CEMAC is holding at a time when 6 of its member countries have been confronted with a slowdown in economic growth for 5 years. They include Cameroun, Congo-Brazzaville, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Central African Republic and Chad, whose reasons are varied. One of the reasons is the deterioration of the budget deficit and external account of these states concerned. There is also the problem of huge debts accumulated by these countries owing to a decline in business activities caused by heightened social tension. After its macroeconomic was characterized by a 0.4% recession in 2016, 2017 witnessed a deterioration in public internal plus external accounts coupled with a less comfortable monetary situation void of vitality. Against this backdrop, the heads of states and governments of CEMAC meeting in the Chadian capital N'Djamena under the invitation of the Chadian president Idriss Déby Itno, who doubles as acting president of the CEMAC, are expected to properly take stock of the situation and give a boost for the condition to be as good as possible. They are also expected to review the emergency macroeconomic stabilization measures adopted in December 2016. Beyond the economy of the region, CEMAC leaders are expected to come up with ways and means likely to strengthen peace in some of its member countries like Chad, Central African Republic and Cameroun, whose re-elected president they congratulated at the start of deliberations.
Ethiopia now has her first female president, and Saleh Work Zewde was elected as the country's ceremonial head after her predecessor resigned. Franklin Mwabe reports.
Saleh Work Zewde has been elected by Ethiopian members of parliament as the country's first female president. Ms. Saleh Work, who is now Africa's only female head of state, is an experienced diplomat who has served as an ambassador for Ethiopia in Senegal and Djibouti. She has also worked for the United Nations, holding prominent positions like head of peace building in the Central African Republic.
We must build on successes and attend to unfinished business so towns and cities can become models and drivers of sustainability.
Before becoming president, Ms. Saleh Work was a United Nations representative at the African Union. Her election as the ceremonial head of state comes 1 week after Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of Ethiopia, appointed a cabinet with half the post occupied by women. Ms. Saleh Work was voted in after Mulatu Tessom, her predecessor, resigned. During a swearing-in ceremony, Ms. Saleh Work promised to make gender equality a reality in Ethiopia. Her appointment has been welcomed by Ethiopians on social media as historic, describing her as Ethiopia's first female head of state of the modern era, while some look at her as Empress Zewde, who governed the country Ethiopia in the early part of the 20th century. The last African female head of state was Mauritian President Amina Gurib Fakim, who resigned in March over many scandals.
And Cameroonian authorities are stepping up efforts to ensure that all the infrastructures, notably stadia, that are expected. Inspection team, November 3rd, Littoral Governor and President of the Regional 2019 Africa Cup of Nations African Organizing Committee, Samuel Dedone Ivaha is on the ground evaluating construction works at the African construction site.
We are a little late. At the end of October, we will finish all the steel structure. End of October, first week of November. 4 days to end. Yeah, first because everything we are putting to access.
Governor Samuel Dedone Ivaha instructs the company to step up efforts to completely execute the works in time. After going through the different departments of the sports complex, he tells the press that though there is still a lot to be done, much has already been done.
The company has doubled the workers that are performing in these fields, and also we are seeing that they are not only going to give us this stadium, the other one and the tennis club and swimming pool, all of them are on the way and they are working very well. There is no obstacle till now. The rainy season is going and we are sure that they are going to accelerate. The deadline, they will respect it.
At the Omi Sports Stadium, he is told that work is advancing at a considerable pace and that the deadline will be respected. Same for the Bona Musadi and Bapelepe Stadia. That's it for this edition of the news. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. Goodbye.